Hello, I'm M. Hood. I'm on a mission here, sort of. I'm doing a series called Hitchhiking and Fishing, right? As you may already know, you've seen the video. This morning I was below the dam of Toledo Bend on the Texas side, and it was a rainy one, and it was a disastrous one. The camera got wet, stopped working, and then later on I decided it was time for me to go, and I figured out that my tent was in a bad place, but the tent was leaking so much water and falling apart I had to trash it down the road. Now I have a tarp, and also my landing net broke today, just fell apart. It's like 3 bad things today. The tent was trash, the camera got wet and stopped working, and the landing net broke. Became useless. Well, I'm now on Lake Vernon in Louisiana under a bridge, and it just stopped raining. This place is literally infested with mayflies if you walk outside the bridge. Funny story, when I got dropped off here, I didn't realize that they were swarming. I jumped out of the truck, left the truck open, but the cab light was on. I was grabbing my stuff, and instantly the truck cab filled with mayflies, like millions of them, and the driver was all like doing that stuff, and that just took all my resolve to not crack up laughing after he drove off. I busted a gut. It was just funny. They're everywhere. They're thick as smoke here. So I do have some good news, because in the video diary entry before here, I was just pissed about the camera, right, and that it was a total loss. Well, I was at a store just down the road for a few hours. You know, I got drank a couple of cups of coffee, had a sandwich, not the hamburger that I wanted. I had some microwave cheesesteak calzone. It was okay. I mean, it was only okay because I was hungry. I'm sure that if I wasn't that hungry, I wouldn't have liked it, because it was just okay. And I bought a tarp there. Probably paid too much. It was like $22 for a 16 by 20 tarp. But this is like a little gas station that had a hardware store section. I mean, an actual hardware store section, like where you could buy chain and stuff like that. And they had tackle and all that. I could have bought a landing net there, but the prices are just outrageous at these stores, like out in the middle of nowhere on the side of the highway. Ridiculous. I needed the tarp. I guess I need the landing net too, but I just didn't feel like paying for it. And the horrible thing is, I'm low on instant coffee. I have like a few days worth, maybe like 2 or 3. I thought, well, maybe I'll get some more, but all they had was decaf. This is ridiculous. All you have is decaf, and it costs too much. So I bought like another $4 jar of peanut butter, extra crunchy, Jiffy. I got a loaf of bread. It's like $4 right there for bread. And what else did I get that cost too much? Oh, I got brand new sandwich baggies to put the tech in. I got the camera double wrapped, and I got the phone double wrapped. Oh, I had some kind of good news to tell you, didn't I? I got sidetracked there. Sorry, maybe too much coffee, or I'm too flustered. I've had a hell of a day. I had to walk a long ways in the rain too. Yeah, I got something good to tell you. Maybe it's good, I don't know. Well, when I was at the store, I was fiddling with the camera again, and it turned on. Amazing. But I'm not in the clear. I don't think I'm going to be able to film because it's not turning on now. But when I had it on earlier, it would turn itself off, and then I turned it back on, and it turned itself off, then it wouldn't turn on, then it turned on, and then it let me get it in, and I was able to go into the menu, and all of last night and this morning's footage is still there. Hopefully it's not corrupted. Maybe the camera didn't get that wet, and we'll say that it's in the process of drying right now, so it's showing signs of life. Maybe I'll be able to film at some point, but I'm going to go ahead and head home because I do have this tooth problem that has developed since I've been out. I need to take care of that because it's not really all that manageable. I have days where I'm just in intense pain, and I don't really want to have to just eat ibuprofen. I'm gonna go take care of it. I'm gonna go home. Well, I got other things to do at home too, but I had almost a whole week. I don't have to really be home until before the 15th of October, so I'm cutting this way short. But I'm at a lake. I have no landing net. But the most amazing thing happened this morning that I'm surprised myself. I really enjoyed going after white bass and stripers this morning, though I didn't produce much. There was another guy out there in the rain too, and I didn't want him to have all the fun, so I crawled out of the tent and I joined him, and we both got drenched and wet, and I was hitting fish and losing them because just wasn't setting them. I'm not that much of a lure fisherman, but I'm amazed at how into it I became after a few hours today. When I was a kid, I did a lot of it, but I got out of it. I got more into catfish, and I'm really into crappie fishing. I do that a lot. Jigging, that's one of my favorite things, is jigging. I'm really into coarse fishing, carp and buffalo and lots of things like that, and I'm really into gar fishing. I think I'm turning into a bass fisherman all of a sudden. Oh God, really, it's amazing, shocking. I don't know. That's so much more money to spend, right? Well, anyway, I don't have a landing net. I've drank a lot of coffee. I don't have a camera to film with. I have the webcam to yammer and blammer and prattle on, talking forever, too long sometimes. But I do feel like fishing. There's no point in hitchhiking anymore tonight. There's a nice lake here. It's got alligators, I think, and nutria. Who knows what kind of fish. I don't have the energy to sit and watch a line. I don't want to have to run my headlamp watching a line and being swamped by mayflies. So how about I just this one time fish without filming? I think I would enjoy that right now. Just get the jitters out of me, and it's the best thing for decompressing. Ooh, there was something that didn't sound like a fish. That sounded like something else, either a nutria. It could have been. I don't know if there's otters over here. I've seen otters in Texas on this trip, but I never had a chance to film them. They were either too far or gone too quick. But they were smaller than the river otters I see back home in Orleans on the Mississippi River. They're much smaller. Cute too, but shy. I mean, they're just gone real fast. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to break out the spinning rod, and I'm going to toss a few things. I found some lures on the banks of the Sabine. Well, it's a spillway just below the dam on the Texas side. There's two of them. There's one that the water comes from the bottom of the lake, and the other one the water comes from the top. So I'm at the cold water one. That's what they call it. Some people do. And all these lures were like at one point under the water, because when they open the gates, which I found out they're doing tomorrow, they're going to open them tomorrow, which would be the 30th, right? Let me look here real quick, because today's the 29th. It's a Sunday. Yeah, 30 days in September. I don't remember that stuff always, do you? So today's the 29th. Tomorrow's Monday. They're going to open them. Now, I don't know how long, how much, they're going to open it, but I know that they sound this alarm, and then you have, like, most people told me it's about like 10 minutes to get your ass to high ground. And then the water comes up, and I've heard people say, oh, it can come up 4 feet in 30 minutes, and then I've heard other people say that sometimes it comes up even more than that. Now, where I had the tent last night, or where I put it last night, it was dry as a bone above what I judged to be a water line, because I've been through Katrina, and I've seen water lines in houses, and I know what a water line looks like, and plus I'm from, small towns in Texas, and I know about these things. So I thought I had the tent in a great place, because it was bone dry above where everything was wet. But today, after the camera screwed up, and I was like frustrated, and I'm thinking, let's just pack it up and go. Let's just get out of here. It's wet. I'm pissed. I want something hot to eat and a cup of coffee, and I just don't want to be here anymore because everything's breaking and falling apart. Let's go put it back together. Let's go get what we need. Obviously, I can't go buy a new camera, but I bought a tarp, and maybe I should have bought a landing net. It just seemed like too expensive. I got the spinning rod, so let's catch. Well, it's just me. I'm gonna fish here in a second. But I want to talk about the lures and why they made me feel like I was in a bad place. All around the tent, when I was frustrated and pissed off after I did my last video diary telling you about the camera, I saw that the grass was all bent one way, and I kept finding lures hung up on the grass going downstream, right? What the hell was that? Something sneaking up on my bread? Raccoon flashback there. A little raindrop hit the bread bag. Getting all nervous, like things creeping up on me trying to steal my last loaf of bread. So I started to think, and I looked around, and I was like, well, I really don't know how high this water is going to come up. So I got really fast with packing up. I made up my mind then, right there and then, I got to go. And I still wanted to catch fish. I was just like intent on catching a white bass, which is shocking to me. I don't usually care about catching bass, but for some reason, maybe it was seeing those kids with that stringer and watching them catch them, and all these stories I heard, and the fact that they're so prevalent right there, white bass and stripers. Of course, I was there to catch Gaspergoo, but everything changed once I got there. Like, I changed. It's such a place, such a it just commends you to catch striper and white bass. It's so empowering, and dangerous and crazy looking, like weird rocks everywhere, and it's swift current, and just lots of fish too. Fossils and like, petrified wood looking stuff, and I don't know if it was, but it looked like it. Weird like clams, and it's just like insane. It reminded me of when I was a kid. I don't fish places like that in New Orleans because there are no rocks that are originally from there. All the rocks that are from New Orleans are way down below New Orleans in the nether reaches. So listen to me, I'm yammering again. I'm over 15 minutes now. Well, we could go for 20, can't we? I mean, if you've watched this long, you're gonna listen to me a little more, aren't you? We hope so. I do. So I found these lures there. So I have other lures now, because I didn't bring too many lures. I did bring little things because I like little lures. I like little spinner baits. I lost my favorite one today. It's this really old spinner bait that I've got recently, like a couple months back. It was in a box of ancient tackle, like really old. It's like an Uncle Steve style spinner bait. So I was doing that on a cork, but I lost it. It got hung up on the rocks. I have a couple of things like that. I have a rooster tail that Tom gave me this morning. I have a Rapala that I did bring from home. I didn't bring all my Rapalas because I have a few that I have found here and there. But I have a sinking Rapala with me. And then I have another Rapala that I found today. And I have a soft shad type bait that I found today. But I think I might start with a rooster tail, just casting around in the dark, but not to the let's see, the south part of where this bridge is. It would be, no, I'm sorry, getting turned around north. I'm not going to go to the north side because I know there's a gas pipe there. There's a gas line. There's a sign that says it's there. I don't want to get hung up because I don't want to lose anything, which I probably will. I got to watch out because I with my headlamp, I looked at everything around the bank, and I see that the embankment under this bridge is built up. There was it's a dragonfly. Little dragonfly got up on my hat right there. Let's let him go. This embankment is built up so it doesn't wash away. They laid cement bags wet and let them dry, and it goes all the way down into the water, right? So that means there's obviously things to get hung up on, but it looks more like more crap over here. This looks really good, and I have my instinct tells me that right out off this point here, out from under the bridge, because this isn't the kind of bridge that's easy to fish under, but it's not raining, so I'm going to cast out south into the lake. This is the bigger part of the lake, but at an angle and just around. There's no one here. I'm not near to any houses or anything, but you can hear a dog yapping once in a while across the lake. So that's what I'm going to do. 1907, 1908. We're hitting 20, right? So now some of you might be excited that I'm saying that I'm turning into a bass fisherman. Don't get your hopes up. But I am looking forward to, like, I don't know, everything changed for me this morning. I'm looking forward to bass fishing in different places. But it gets boring when it's all you're catching are smallmouth or largemouth, right? That's why I guess this morning was so what it was for me, because it wasn't like infested with 6-inch largemouths. There were all these different kinds of bass. Maybe that's why this spark happened. So let's see what I do tonight. I'll tell you about it. I might even, if it's a nice fish, I might put it in front of the webcam later on. But I'm just going to chill out. Bye.